I still remember the day I realized my family didn't love me. They only loved control. It was a Sunday morning in Seattle. Gray skies, coffee gone cold, and my phone lighting up with a message from my mother. "We heard you're doing well now. Maybe you can help your brother. He's struggling again." No, how are you? No, we're proud of you. Just a request. A transaction disguised as affection. That was 3 years after they'd laughed at me for quitting my stable job to start my own company. Back then, I was just the irresponsible one, the girl who couldn't handle real life. I was 28, newly divorced, broke, and trying to turn an idea into something real. A small startup that designed medical training simulations using augmented reality. They said I was wasting my time. My father told me, "You're chasing illusions. People like us don't build empires. We work for them." For a while, I believed him. I worked in my apartment, a one-bedroom with cracked tiles and neighbors who fought at 2 a.m. I'd eat cereal for dinner, code all night, then cry into my pillow when the world felt too heavy. No one from home called. Not once. My brother, Aaron, would post photos of family dinners I wasn't invited to. I used to stare at those pictures like they were windows into a world that forgot I existed. But pain has a strange way of becoming fuel, and every moment they ignored me became a reason to keep going. 2 years later, my company, Medisync, landed its first contract with a university hospital in Toronto. That deal changed everything. Suddenly, investors called. The same prototype they mocked became the foundation for a global product used in training medical staff. Within 4 years, Medisync was valued at $85 million. And me, the irresponsible one, was on the cover of a tech magazine with the headline, "The Woman Who Rebuilt Medical Learning." That morning, I got another message from my mother. "We saw your article. We're so proud of you. Let's have dinner soon." My chest tightened, not with joy, but with recognition. They didn't come back because they loved me. They came back because I was finally useful. Dinner was awkward. They sat across from me at a restaurant they could never have afforded on their own. My father wore the same cologne I used to associate with comfort, but now it just smelled like manipulation. Aaron complained about his failing business, asking if I could loan him $50,000 just until things stabilize. My mother smiled, like she was negotiating a peace treaty. "We're family, honey. You know how much we supported you. Remember how we encouraged you to follow your dreams?" I wanted to laugh, because the last time I'd told them about my dream, my father had walked out mid-sentence. But I didn't laugh. I smiled instead, because I had already started planning my revenge. Not revenge through shouting or lawsuits, revenge through truth and silence. I started inviting them into my world, but only the version I controlled. Exclusive events, interviews, gala nights, places where they could watch but never belong. I'd introduce them to investors, colleagues, and media people as my family. They've always been supportive. And I'd see that flicker of guilt cross their eyes, the kind of pain that only comes from being exposed to your own lies. Over time, they tried harder. My father began calling weekly, not to talk, but to ask how to get in on my next deal. My mother sent handwritten letters about missing her little girl. Aaron begged for a position in my company. I gave one. Junior Operations Analyst. Entry level. No title, no privileges. He lasted 3 weeks before quitting, saying he was too qualified to take orders. I didn't respond, because revenge isn't loud. It's quiet satisfaction when karma does its work. Months later, things got worse for them. Their home went into foreclosure. Aaron's failed business left them buried in debt. And one evening, I got a voicemail. My mother crying, saying they might have to move into a motel. For a moment, I felt that old ache, the one that still wished they'd love me the way I once loved them. But then I remembered every night I cried alone, every phone call unanswered, every birthday forgotten. I sent a text. I hope you find peace, but I can't be your solution. They didn't reply. A year passed. I moved to London to open Metasync Europe. The company thrived. Interviews, speaking events, conferences. My name became synonymous with resilience. And yet, one night, after a keynote speech, I found myself crying again. Not from sadness, but from the strange emptiness that comes when you finally win and there's no one left to tell. That's when I decided to do something different. Not to destroy them, but to end their power over me forever. I started a scholarship, the Second Chance Fund, for women who had been told by their families that they'd never succeed. Every year, it helps hundreds of women rebuild their lives from nothing. And every news outlet that covered it mentioned my story. Founder once rejected by family, now funds others left behind. The irony was beautiful. My revenge wasn't in their suffering. It was in proving that their cruelty had no power over my goodness. 3 years later, I got an email from Aaron. Subject line, I'm sorry. He wrote about how he'd read an article about the scholarship, how he was proud, how he finally understood what I'd been trying to do. He said Mom wasn't well, that Dad had lost himself in regret. He asked if I could visit. I stared at that email for hours. Then I wrote back one line. I forgive you all, but my life doesn't belong to you anymore. I didn't visit, but for the first time, I slept peacefully. Last year, Metasync crossed $120 million in valuation. During the anniversary event, standing on stage, I said something I hadn't planned to say. Success isn't revenge. It's peace. Revenge happens when you stop needing to prove anything to those who hurt you. The crowd applauded, but deep down, that line wasn't for them. It was for me. Because I finally understood forgiveness isn't weakness. It's the moment you realize they can't touch you anymore. And maybe that's the truest form of revenge there is.